Hi, welcome or welcome back to the channel. Today is Friday, 14th February, which also means today is Valentine's Day. And I, of course, did not forget about Valentine's Day. Not at all. I was planning this video all along. I think I would have started planning or started reading for this video like the first week of January, but I did not. I will keep this introduction short, which is something that seems impossible to do these days, but here we are. We are going to try at least and hopefully succeed. Yes, I'm in my pajamas. After coming back home from work, this is the first thing I do. Literally, I just change into the most comfortable set of pajamas that I have. Today is not any different. Yay! So, Valentine's Day, a day meant to celebrate love. I did not have any idea what to do for this week's video. Even before realizing Valentine's was this week, I did not have any idea what to do for this week's video. I was brainstorming as one does. No joke, this came to me on a whim and I was just like, you know what? Yeah, why not? So I decided to read for Valentine's. Yes, I am not joking. Now, of course, today is Friday. The video goes out on Monday. I won't be able to read this much in Friday, Saturdays, and in 3 days. What we will do essentially is perhaps try to read the first part, and the Divine Comedy is famously divided into three different parts: Inferno, Purgatory, and Paradise. We will read Inferno to this video. Inferno is about 162 pages long, and I think I can manage that in the 4 days that we have. I'm not counting Monday, mostly because, well, I won't be home on Monday. I usually like to have the video edited and uploaded on my YouTube uh, before I sleep on Sunday, because then I go to work on Monday and not worry about anything. I only leave editing or uploading bits to Monday when I know I'm not going to work, which is not going to happen this month. I don't think I'm going to take any days off. Yeah, that is going to do wonders for my reading and booktube. And F1 comes back this month, at least testing, which will also test my how resolute I am about prioritizing reading, which I think I will be able to do that because, well, it's testing, nothing matters. But yeah, it will be an interesting month to say the least. Anyway, coming back to the Divine Comedy, how did I decide on the Divine Comedy? Mostly because, well, at the core of it, it is a love story, isn't it? Dante's narrator is traversing through Inferno, Purgatory, and finally reaches paradise, where he hopes he would be reunited with Beatrice. Also, this one has pretty illustrations as well. I don't even know whether they are YouTube friendly or not, but here we are. I saw a lot of skin and then I was like, is it YouTube friendly? I'm talking as if my channel is monetized and everything. So it is Sunday, and we've only read 3 cantos of this book, and Inferno is made up of 34 cantos, so I still have a good 31 cantos to go. Now, the reason why it took so long to read the first 3 cantos is not because they were hard to read or anything. Once you get into the flow of it, and I am really glad that my copy has these introductions to each canto, so they basically explain what's happening in the canto, was because I wanted to know in depth about what was happening. The literature student in me looks for reasons to jump out, and this was one of the times it jumped out. So I typed into YouTube the Divine Comedy lectures, and the Yale course popped up. I knew it was a thing. I have always had my eye on it. I always wanted to watch all of them, but I never had a reason to. And now I have a reason to. So I watched the introduction, I watched the Nostra. There was one where they discussed a specific poem Dante had written prior to the Divine Comedy and how it could be considered a preamble almost to Divine Comedy. Then I'm halfway through the Inferno 1, 2, 3, 4 canto, and the first canto they say, like the professor put his name here. He basically suggests that the first canto of the comedy, as Dante intended it to be known as, he never titled it the Divine Comedy. Divine was added later on. So the lectures tackle how the Divine Comedy essentially breaks all the barriers of autobiography and how an autobiography is always incomplete. It will never be a complete thing because, well, you go on to live your life once the autobiography is published, once, like, you're done with the draft. It is a story of your life up until that point, up until you put down the pen, or up until a specific point in your history you decide to cover in the book. The plan for today, as it is Sunday, is that I will read what I can until like 4 p.m. and I will use the assist of audiobook. I will rely on these chapter introductions as for the moment to read how much I can in today, and then I will later watch the lectures because those are just fun. And I will edit this vlog and I will upload it. I still have not edited the Friday vlog that I recorded, or like the part of Friday vlog that I recorded, so that will be fun. I think I have had a few clips of me reading the book and like trying to annotate, trying my hand at annotating a bit, and it is like really lovely. Like, I really like this line. Love urged me onto this, love makes me speak, that Beatrice says to Virgil. I was looking through the audiobooks editions that I could, like, I really wanted to find one with like this translation, but I could not find one. So I'm just using audiobook that I could find on YouTube. But there's another one that I stumbled upon, and it was like a dramatized version. And they like the description or the tagline of that audiobook was essentially that like this is how Dante intended it to be. But like I did not understand it at the time. But most of this so far has been a dialogue between Dante or Virgil, or like Dante or Charon, or Virgil and Beatrice in Canto 3. So this has been unlike what I expected it to be. This is the first time I'm actually like reading an epic properly. I have not read Homer's epic. I've not read Paradise Lost by Milton either. We read the first canto of Paradise Lost as a part of our syllabus in our first semester of masters, I think. But yeah, we never took on the whole epic. However, I think I would like to make this a series on the channel where I take on these epics. So, like, Inferno, Purgatory, and Paradise, three sections of this book essentially. So that could be tackled in like three different monthly vlogs. So I will be done with the Divine Comedy by February, March, by April, and then like we could do the Homer's Iliad, divide that into sections because that is how we will be able to do this. I can't read all of this in one sitting, and I do want to take on these, monumental epic. Yeah, I think it'll be a good exercise. Sure, you can read shorter books and reach your reading goal, but at the same time, I do want to read epics. I've always wanted to. I was really excited in like my masters when I thought that we would be reading Paradise Lost, but turns out it was like a small section of the beginning of like, yeah, as I've like never really read or tackled or taken on essentially any epic. So I would love to do that. And I think this is one way I can do that without like joining a course or like having to rely on teacher student dynamic to make me read this. Like, I want to read Homer's stuff, I want to read Paradise Lost, I want to read Gilgamesh. There are so many epics that I want to take on, that I want to read, dividing them into sections, and like I've done. I mean, this is not my doing. This is done by Dante. Thank you, Dante. But yeah, this feels a bit manageable. Cantos are essentially smaller. If I had not taken the time to, delve into those lectures, I probably would have been done by now. If I was relying on just this translation. Also, I'll be honest, Saturdays are tiring at work. Not as such like there's anything new to do. The thing that the week is over. Yeah, so that thing. The lovely thing about my translation also is that we have footnotes. So yeah, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything by not having read this in a classroom setting where every single line is explained. Every single line used to be explained by one of my professors when like I was a student and I was doing my masters. We did this whole analysis of Eliot's poems, famous ones, Alfred Prufrock and The Wasteland's first canto again, and my God, every single line, every single word was thoroughly explained by my professors. So that was a lovely time. But now, of course, I'm done with my master's. I'm currently working. I'm doing my bachelor's of education on the side. So, who will teach me the Divine Comedy? Thank you, Professor Nichols. That is all I can say. Let's get reading.
But remember, don't hesitate to call on me for anything. Like you said, a human being, I'm going to make you take that chance. Things have been different for me ever since I met Hildy. I've never met anyone quite like her before.
My guide and I followed that hidden route to bring us once more to the light of day, and with no rest from the fatigue of it, we clambered up, he first, till finally I saw the glory of heavenly spheres, through a round hole the aperture whence we emerged, to look once more upon the stars. 163 pages of how Virgil and Dante essentially did a road trip to different circles of hell, and now they've come out to the center of Earth, to almost the center of Earth. They are standing outside the purgatory. That is what I know so far. It is a self-insert fanfic. I will say that, because how is Dante traveling with Virgil, somebody who he loved, like whose work he admired when he was alive? Not only that, there also comes a point where Dante meets four other writers that he likes: Horace, Socrates, Ovid, and I think one other more. I think I did not underline that here, but genuinely, he was like, "Oh my God, am I worthy enough to join y'all?" And then he joins them. So like he was trying to pretend, like at least in that specific passage, it comes off as like he's trying to pretend he is humble, but he's like clearly excited. He's clearly here for it, and so yeah. And then essentially, what follows rest is how Dantal, how Dante, you would have loved AO3 is all I'm going to say. Insane thing to say. Anyway, so they journey through different circles of hell, and we get descriptions of how each circle has been reserved for somebody who has been people who have done the sins. First circle of hell was reserved for people who did not get baptized. As we progress into hell, the circles become like less, taking space, with Lucifer being frozen over in the last circle, Judas being frozen over Brutus, the guy who killed Julius Caesar, and Cassius, the one who conspired with Brutus to kill Caesar. It has been fun trying to read this one, or like at least 165 pages approximately, and trying to make sense of it and trying to place all these historical figures. Dante really hated all the Greek figures, and so like everybody who was involved in Trojan War, Trojan horse thing, they are also they've gotten like a special place reserved for them in hell. He really did not like popes as well. So yeah, yeah. Glad I did this. Glad I read this. Now I will probably have to watch the lectures so that I can understand. Like, okay, I did get what I was reading because of the footnotes and stuff, but at the same time, in-depth analysis that a professor does. That yeah, that those things they are very very good to me for me. My brain loves those things. Yes, so this was a shorter video. I think it'll be shorter. I don't think I'm managing any B-roll. It's like 7:30 in the morning. So like the B-roll you have is the B-roll you have. And I don't live like a spectacular life. We don't go out as such. Yeah, this is what it is. My channel will probably be a lot of sit down videos and random vlogs, which is just again a lot of sit down videos with sprinklings of b-roll that I can manage. I can squeeze together. Happy Valentine's Day. 3 days late, 4 days late. I hope yours was a lovely one. I hope you got a lot of books, or your partner gave you flowers. And yeah, see you next week. Bye bye.